All right, V, so what's this?
Logo.
Logo? Can I see your head for a second? All right, just your nose. All right, so the idea was that, who's that guy sticking out of the envelope?
You.
That's me? And so that's my top secret envelope, so what's this a logo for?
The secret show.
Welcome to The Secret Show. I'm Chris Brogan. We're back for another episode. I've been thinking a lot about sales lately, so this episode has a little bit about sales and doing business. This show is dedicated to helping you grow your successful channel. How do you grow a successful business channel? How do you make media that matters? How do you build content in this time of oversaturation? That's what we're going to cover. So one of the things I have is I have an interview with Marcus Sheridan, who's the sales lion. I've got something with Saul Colt, who's the head of magic at FreshBooks, talking about invoicing and really kind of helping me get over something where I felt a little weird about invoicing. And we've got a lot much more to cover. Welcome to Shh. Some people want to know about blogging and where to get the time to do it. And one of the things I just noticed recently is that if you are someone who has a little bit of extra time on the weekends, that's usually where I find a lot of bloggers get their sort of longer, more thought out posts. You know, that's a time where, the kids might have gone away for a little bit. They might be doing something else. There might be another activity. You might have taken them to a sports event or something. Whatever your life is like, it seems like for whatever reason, the weekend is where you get a little bit of extra time to get some writing out. So if that's you, there's two things you could do with that. One is you could post it on the weekend because it turns out there's a lot of people looking to consume content on the weekend. Or you can schedule it to post a little later in the week and it'll still look like you got it out there. The goal in getting more writing done and more blogging done is to have so much written that you can space it out ahead of time, and so you're not worrying about writing it on the day. The last thing you want to do is Monday morning wake up and think, I need to blog today. That's not the goal. The goal is to have stuff put in the can so you can do it whenever you want. Marcus Sheridan, who we're going to interview next, I apologize ahead of time. He's lethargic, he's slow, he's sad. Oh my gosh, wait till you see this guy. Marcus is from thesaleslion.com. He has a background in sales. He's done all kinds of cool stuff. I know him as this amazing internet marketer type, inbound type guy who I've met at a bunch of different events, who's done a lot of speaking. Marcus sat down and had a chance to chat with me. Let's see what he had to say. If you got an extra 2 hours in your day and you were a doer, what would you give those people to do? You're an inbound marketing expert. You've done a lot of stuff to learn how to do HubSpot and all these other systems. What's 2 hours well spent for you business-wise? Not kids and family aside or whatever. What's 2 hours of good business?
2 hours is everything, Chris. When I started with this in March of 2009, because I used to be a pool guy, still own my swimming pool company, and in 2009 we were in huge trouble, and so that's when we found HubSpot and embraced inbound marketing, and within about 6 to 12 months we were on top of the industry. And the thing about it is, people always say, well, Marcus, how do you find the time to do this stuff? Well, this is the honest to goodness truth. When I started really getting into blogging and saying, okay, this is the future, I've got to do this, but I was doing sales calls 3 hours away from my home every day, Chris. I was on the road 5, 6, 7 hours a day and still producing all this content. And when all this started happening, I went to my wife. It's no joke. I went to her and I said, I've got some big things that are going to come up. I've got this going on with my pool company. And I have this other blog as well that I want to start in the sales line. I said, but the problem is I'm going to have to go to bed later. That's what I'm going to have to do. And she said, well, if you really feel like you need to do that, that's what you need to do. And see, that's when I changed my whole pattern of everything. When I got home at night, Chris, at sometimes I'd get home somewhere between 6 and 10 o'clock at night, okay? If I got home at 6, I'd spend a couple hours with my kids. And then around 9:30 or 10, I would get on the elliptical for an hour, which is something I do every day. When I was exhausted, that's when I get on the elliptical. And then I do that for an hour. And that gives me the charge to go to 12, 1, 1:30 in the morning, which is usually, 2 o'clock in the morning. That's usually when I stop. I'm like everybody else. By 10 o'clock, I want to be done. So I actually work out at night so I get that extra boost. And then it gives me 2 hours. Almost, really, I think the big difference, you talk about 2 hours, Chris, I think the people that are really successful of owning a business, okay, versus the ones that have a business but take their content and their inbound marketing, their blogging to another level, maybe do have a side hustle, it's that 2 hour rule, right? That seems to me the great difference between the ones that are okay and the ones that are just really phenomenal.
You see what I mean? He's like low energy. He's, he's really slow. Yeah. Marcus Sheridan. Oh my gosh. Go to thesaleslion.com. Make this guy your new friend. Check him out. You know one problem people have with making video? Where to do it. I've got the kids. I've got to hide out in the bathroom. This won't work. It's not a good set. It's not great. It's better than nothing. But it's a problem. So what do? You've got to look for it. You've got to look for what's going to make a good set. You've got to try to create a set. You've got to think like you're making a TV show. Because, hint, the bathroom probably isn't going to cut it. I asked people to submit videos of things that they're a fan of. And a few of you were able to get me something back. And thank you so much for that. And here's what everybody's a fan of.
I'm Jack from 12and12.B, and I am a big fan of books. Lots and lots and lots of books.
Hi, I'm Christopher Lynn from the Colonnade Hotel in Boston, and I'm a huge fan of the Boston Red Sox.
Hey there, my name is DJ Waldo of Waldo Social, and I am a fan of the Michigan Wolverines and the New York Giants.
Hi, I'm Connie Brand from the San Francisco Bay Area, and I am a fan of Google+.
Hey everyone, Todd Billier here from VireStaffing.com, and I'm a fan of selling with integrity.
Hi, I'm Rocco. I'm from Puerto Rico, and I am a fan of passionate people and vegetables. So please eat your veggies.
Hi, Chris. I am Rick Liebling from Y&R New York. I'm the creative culturalist there, and I'm a fan of just about everything.
Hi there. I'm Michael Reynolds. I am from Indianapolis, and I'm a fan of zombies.
Hey, Chris. Phil Cramp here, SBLI in Woburn, Massachusetts. You asked us to make a video of what we're a fan of. 2 o'clock or 2:30 in the afternoon like right now, I'm a huge fan of Diet Pepsi.
Hi, I'm Lou Mangello from WDWRadio.com, and I am a fan of positive people. Show me who you're with, and I'll show you who you are. And surrounding yourself by other people who are positive and focused and believe in you as much as you do will help you live the life that you dream. Keep moving forward.
Hi, my name's Glenn Hansen. What am I a fan of? Well, I have to say I'm a huge fan right now of Quora.com. This question and answer site gives people the opportunity to ask questions on a variety of topics or scroll through topics and answer questions on everything from, of course, social media and technology to food, wine, accounting, Christianity, popular culture, you name it.
Hi, it's Julia Heidi from Toronto, and I'm a fan of books and ebooks and sharing the ideas that are really interesting, that make somebody tick and grow and learn and become more humane.
I'm Andrea Lynette from St. Catharines in Ontario, Canada. I like Employment and Training Solutions, Business Development Center, Niagara College for helping entrepreneurs get their businesses off the ground.
I guess I should add mine. So what am I a fan of? I'm a fan of Batman. I'm a fan of different kinds of whiskeys and gins, and I'm evidently a fan of music. I've been enjoying learning to play again. Sorry, Gillette Fusion Phantom Power. I'm done with you. Hello, Gillette Pro Glide. This is an incredible razor. I don't like shaving. You can tell I'm a man with a goatee. I don't like shaving. But if I have to shave, this Gillette Pro Glide has replaced my Gillette Fusion Phantom razor. The only problem is I have about 40 extra brand new blades for this thing that I'm gonna have to find people who need because I'm going to the Pro Glide. Saul Colt is a man among men, and he is Chief Magic Officer of FreshBooks and just a fascinating guy. I asked him some questions about invoicing because I think that's one of the tough parts of doing business is, you feel a little weird throwing out the bill sometimes, and Saul really set me straight. Let's take a look. Any, just right off the top of your head, horror stories or funny stories that come to mind about this, or what's your first piece of advice?
First piece of advice. First, Chris, thank you for having me. Secondly, it's so important to invoice your client. It's one of the things we say in our office is invoice early, invoice often. There's plenty of tools out there. Ours is one of them, obviously, that you can literally invoice the minute you finish the job. You can invoice from your vehicle before you leave the parking lot. If you're working on site, if you're working at home or remotely, it's literally like you cannot get paid until these people have proof of work or an invoice or something to match it up with. So you do it as soon as possible. Send 4 invoices and spread them out for different jobs because you you need to keep the lights on. You need to do all this. It's so wonderful you have clients, but you got to be a little selfish because this is your livelihood.
So let's pause for a second. So, I mean, let's say I just finished the job. I grab my Android or whatever your smartphone device is that, FreshBooks works on, and I hit the send button on that thing. I mean, right from the parking lot, doesn't that seem a little... I feel like a prostitute if I do that. I mean, I guess it's the thing. I mean, I've charged for money, I get that, but isn't it like so close to the act? Why do I feel that?
Well, so I can't really speak to the prostitute part, but from what I've seen on TV and things, that scenario usually leave the money on the counter, so there isn't really that awkward pause. But I will say, if you do it from your car and things, I think it makes you look professional. It makes you look like you take your business very seriously. I think, a lot of business and everything is kind of perception, and a lot of it is kind of fake it till you make it and things like that. So the most important thing is you want to create an air of professionalism and create an air that you are the only person these people should be working with, because you know exactly what you're doing in every aspect of your business. You're the best provider of whatever service they're hiring you for, and you also know how to run your business. So there should never be a doubt that people think, oh, maybe this guy isn't that good, or he's lazy or whatever. Like, it's really, create an air of invincibility at every stage of your business.
So I'm just getting ready to go for a run, and I was just thinking what I wanted to listen to on my iPod as I was running, and I wanted to learn a little bit more about selling. I've decided I don't know enough about selling, and my sales style is definitely something that could use improvement. So I'm reading a couple things, a couple of audiobooks and whatnot while I'm running. But then, as I'm thinking about this, I mean, there's stuff you can learn from books, but then there's stuff you have to actually practice by trying. You have to get out there and keep trying. And I think sales is one of those. I think sales is one of those things you've got to just keep trying to make the sale. Now, first off, I think a lot of people have a yucky feeling, unless they're already a salesperson, about the concept of being a salesperson. But really, ultimately, I've said this a lot of times in my speeches, if you don't believe that you're in sales department, if you don't believe that you're in the customer service department, no matter what your real job title is, I think that's already a problem. So I've got a curiosity about that. What about you? Are you into sales? If so, how did you learn? And what's your method? Because mine, I think, is going to be trying it, even if it's not necessarily selling my own products and services, but just learning how to sell something I believe in. Curious to know your answer. nl@bteam.co. Hey, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Hank Wozniak and everybody at USC. Thank you so much for covering trust agents and for having all those cool conversations on Twitter. As you can tell, I'm a little bit of a fan of yours as well, and a big fan of that man, Hank, that's in your class. Thanks so much. Only 2 items in the Secret Show mailbag this week. I've got something from the guys at selflesstea.com, which was a nice little postcard that they send out when you order a t-shirt from Selfless Tea. Selfless tees are a way to buy a t-shirt and support a cause at the same time. So this is one to check out. Also in the mailbox, I've got something new, Jeff Smith's book, Bone. This has been out for a while. I just hadn't ever picked it up. And it's kind of a story that works as a good epic tale. It's great to start with kids, maybe starting around age 9 or so. But grown-ups could read it too. It's a very fantasy-style book. Now, I bought the single-volume one. There's, it breaks into 10 or so volumes, but now there's a new omnibus version as well that you can get it all in one. Depends whether or not you want your kid lugging around something about the size of 2 or so Bibles stuck together. But it's definitely worth checking out. That's what's in the mailbag this week. My secret this week is this. If you're going to sell, be clean, crisp, and clear about the selling. Never be embarrassed about selling. If you're selling something, it's because you believe that you have something of great value to sell to the community that you believe in and that you think believes in you. That's the only time you should sell. The only time you should ever feel embarrassed about selling is if you can't say that those things are true. If you can't say that this thing is something you believe in, and if you can't say it's for the benefit of the community that you have the pleasure of serving. That's what you have to do. Sell crisp, sell clean, sell clear, be non-apologetic about it, get it out there. So that's a logo, huh?
Mm-hmm.
What's that logo for?
The Secret Soul.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool.
There's a new logo.
That's a new one? So there's a guy talking, but you told him to shh. Mm-hmm. Is that how that works? What's your name again?
Howard.
I can't even see you. Oh, there you are.